Hello, you're with Libby from libbystamps.com. I'm thinking of renaming my videos 123 Stamp With Me. Alright, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and you can see all my online products if you go to my website libbystamps.com and click on Shop Online. Now, while you're looking at this video, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. Alright, I've stamped this card for a blog post I'm doing. It's for a blog hop using the Waterfront stamp set, which is in the Occasions catalogue at the moment. Now here I've used the Marina Mist on Marina Mist, and it's just the dotted stamp. I guess it looks a bit like Sand, Early Espresso and Very Vanilla. I used the dotted stamp on the envelope as well and on the inside of the card. So Saffron, Old Olive, Early Espresso, Marina Mist, Early Espresso, and this is Very Vanilla, and I'll put all the measurements, well, I did put all the measurements on my blog. So today I thought we'd try something a little bit different with the Waterfront stamp set, and we're going to have a play. I'll put all the measurements on my blog, and we're going to start off with some Very Vanilla, and it's just cut in half lengthways to give you an A6 card or whatever size it is. So we'll just do that, and I might use that same dotted image but in Early Espresso this time, and I'm just doing that for the inside of the card and the envelope. So the insides of my card measure 13.5 by 9.5, which is I think about 5 inches by 3 3/4. But as I said, I will put all the measurements on my blog, and I'm just going to use the dotty stamp, I call it. Place it down on your grid paper, put your block on top like that, and you're ready to stamp. So I'm using Early Espresso, and I'm just going to stamp up one side because we're making a tent fold card, and this would make a great masculine card as well. So that's the inside done. And then for the envelope, just check which way you've got it going. I just stamped across the top like that, and down the bottom I just stamped off, and then on the other side I just stamped down the side. Alright, so that's your insert and your envelope done. Alright, so I've got my Very Vanilla folded in half, and I'm also going to stamp on some So Saffron, which is 1/2 inch, which is about 1.6 I think centimetres by 3 1/4, about 7 centimetres, and I'm going to layer up 2 stamps. Now this one says thanks, so I'm going to pop it on my grid paper and use that to get it straight, and I'm going to use friend, and I'm going to pop that next to it also on the grid paper, hopefully get it straight. I always find with a new stamp set it's a bit sticky and unstick properly. Alright, I'm just going to test this out on my grid paper and make sure I've got it straight. Alright, that looks pretty good. So on my So Saffron, and I'm using the matte Stampin' Pierce Matte to stamp on to give me a bit of cushioning, because these stamps don't have cushion like the normal rubber. Alright, so that's our thanks friend, and we're just going to banner cut that, and I think that's all we need the Old Olive for. Oh no, some treetops maybe. So just banner cut that with your snips. So try and cut in the middle about 1/4 inch or so up from, and then you've got your banner. So that's that stamping done, and I'm going to put a bit of linen thread around this, but I'll do that a bit later. I'm going to have some Wood Textures Designer Series paper, which comes in a stack, and I'll cut that down to 10.3 by 10 or 5 1/4 by 4 if you're using Imperial, and you don't need a lot of liquid adhesive. Less is more when it comes to the liquid adhesive. Okay, so And then I've got a piece of old olive, which is 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. I'll give you the metric measurements on my blog. And I'm just going to come in and stamp these trees from the set. If you haven't seen the set, this is what it looks like. And it's in the Occasions catalogue. Lovely set. You could do all sorts of things with it. We're making a masculine type card today. So I'm just going to load those up onto a block, and I'm just going to use some old olive ink. Had a really inky day today where I've got ink all over me, all over my stamp pad. Still, you're not having fun if you don't get ink everywhere, are you? Alright, so just old olive on old olive. Start at one side and move across, and you can do sort of like an up and down so that you can get the tops of the trees for some and the bottom of the trees for others, and that gives you a bit of an idea of the background. Alright, so this is going to go about there, and I'll just trim that off. So again, some liquid glue, and you only need a little bit. Fine line does you, and that over. Can go about there, and then just with my snips I'm going to just trim down the edge there. I've made it a little long. Right, all's good. Alright, now I'm going to bring in a piece of watercolour paper, and this is where we're going to play. Now it's only a small piece, and alright, so we're going to create a bit of a background with our stamps. Now I'm going to come in with this Ziggy Zaggy type one and load it up on a block. Alright, and some Marina Mist. These are lovely colours to work with, and I'm going to stamp on about there in full strength, and then about there also in full strength. Now I'm going to stamp in between in half strength that I've stamped off. So I've sort of made that background, and then I'm going to come in with my aqua painter. I've already got some Marina Mist on here, and I'm just quickly going to do a bit of a background wash. So I love watercolouring like this on watercolour paper. Just pick up a little bit of colour and wash across, and if you haven't got enough water in, just squeeze a little bit more down into the brush, and it just needs to be light. I'm going to take it all the way down to the beach, so to speak, do a bit more on the sides, and then I'm also going to come down and fill in these little bits over here, so I've got almost no white showing at all. Okay, so have a play. It's fun to have a play, and you can't get anything wrong because it's your creation. Every mistake is a new creation. There's no such thing as mistakes, really. So we'll just do that and leave it at that, I think. And we need to let it dry a bit. So while it's drying, we'll just put some more bits of our card together. I could bring in my heat tool and dry it, and we might do that yet, but we'll just see how it goes. Card. So I'll just pop that over there to dry and find the inside I made earlier. And here it. Alright, so just a fine thing of glue around it, down like that. Now we've got our insert. Now, a trick with putting some linen thread on your card is to bring in your trusty glue dots and just take one off. I usually put it in about the middle, and then I sort of stick it down, but it's just down enough to keep it in place. And then I just need some linen thread to go around it. So I'll bring in my linen thread, and that's probably about enough. Alright, and I'm just going to wrap that around the end and leave a bit to tie a knot. So pick up your banner and wrap it around a few times like that, and then just makes it easier to tie the knot if you've got your banner stuck to something, not to yourself, as I just did. But anyway, alright, and then just go ahead and tie a knot. And I usually do a reef knot, but that's up to you. A reef knot is a flat knot, so it's right over left and under, and left over right and under. And I think way back when I first started doing video tutorials, I did a tutorial on how to tie a knot as well as bows. Alright, so I'm just going to snip that off. We're Stampin' Up! And bring back these scissors. I really like them for ribbon and trim. They're nice and sharp. That's that bit done, and then you just lift it up off your mat. And you've got a glue dot there, but we're going to put dimensionals on it. So we'll do that while it's still drying. And I'm going to put dimensionals over the linen thread because that helps it stick. I'm going to put 2 in the middle because I want this banner to be sort of a bit wavy in the middle. So if you put 2 dimensionals, or if you do a glue dot either end and then 2 dimensionals, you'll be able to get that wavy type banner. Alright, so there's our banner ready. Now let's see if our card is dry. Alright, so we need our trees again. We don't need our words. So a trick to keeping your stamps when you've taken them off your block and they're still stamping and you don't want to stop and put them away is just stick them back onto the stamp case front and you'll be able to keep them safe there. Now I need some mountains. I'm going to use this mountain. So put it on a block. I might put it on my long block actually. And dry enough I think. Alright, I'm going to come in with some early espresso, but I'm going to stamp off on my useful strength. Something like doing it on the fly. Alright, so I'm going to stamp a mountain about there and then another one about here. And my trees are going to be in Old Olive as we did before. This is really quite a quick fun card to make. There goes our trees, and then all we need is some sunshine because we don't want it to be a dull day. So our sunshine is this round dot, which is better than using a sponge dauber, which is what I've used in the past. Alright, so our round dot's going to go about here, and there's the front of our card done. Just need to add it to our card. Might like to put some early espresso on the back of that, I think. That's almost right. As I said, I'll put all the measurements for this on my blog and you'll be able to make one the same and probably not take so long because you're not fussing around. Just going to stick that down. Just want a narrow little border there. So I'm just trimming this up with my trusty little trimmer. Alright, so we've got our card front done and I'm just going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of that. Now always put one in the middle, otherwise when the recipient receives it in the post, the front of your card looks like it's had a sinkhole go through it, so it's sort of sunk, and we don't want that because you've spent time on it. And we're almost finished. So do you like my new name? 1, 2, 3, stamp with me. Alright, so we'll see how it goes. So we're just going to pop this down here. Then we've got our sentiment to add and we're done. So there you are. There's 2 ideas for your waterfront card, and I'd love you to shop with me. Go to libbystamps.com, click on the shop button, and I send out gifts for every order. Doesn't matter whether you order once or twice during the month or more often. I send out a gift for every order and a thank you card. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So there's the finished card and the inside, the envelope and the back of the envelope ready to go to a friend. And I think that makes a great looking mail type card. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Bye for now. Try to draw outside the line. Let us see inside your mind. You'll find inspiration.